you get here on your medicals?
I really didn't have, when I came here and got the medical and everything going on, they didn't check my leg. I was told not to let anybody pull or tug at my leg just because surgery was recent, 6 weeks out in a few days. So we're just more so looking at my upper body.
Malik, how did the injury affect you on the field for Ohio State this season?
The injury happened November 26th in the game against team up north. So when that happened, I didn't really notice until after the game. After the game, I couldn't walk really. I was limping. I practiced that week. I was not able to run as well, and I just kept playing through it. I played the Clemson game with the injury as well.
Did you consider not playing?
No, it was never. That was never a thought.
Why?
Just because I put too much work in with those guys, and it would be like I was letting them down. We went through the offseason to grind. I feel like everything that I worked for in the offseason and that we worked for as a team, it would have been thrown away if I didn't go out there and compete with those guys.
Did it hurt in the Clemson game?
It did, but I took a lot of ibuprofen. It definitely hurted, but I didn't really pay attention. As the game went on, it was something that I wasn't paying attention to. I was just going out there trying to compete and get the win for the team.
In the first half of that game, you made one of the best interceptions a lot of people have seen on the field you covered. How many ibuprofen pills did it take?
About 6. Took about 6. I went out there early before the game started, and I had the PT look at it before I went out there and started working out on the field, and just got it real loose. Try to get as loose as I can, and just try to mentally block that out of my mind.
During the year, you said that you were going to come back to Ohio State. I think everybody knew that probably wasn't going to happen. But when you have an injury like that, this year there was a big debate around a lot of players about whether you should play in bowls and stuff if you have an NFL future. Obviously, your situation is different because you were trying to win a national title.
Yes, sir.
But as you're on the brink of the NFL when you're facing an injury like that, how would you not have a thought of, should I be worried about my future?
Well, before even looking into my future, there's just so much that you put into a program like that. So for me to just automatically say I'm not playing just, because I'm a top 10 pick or whatever the scenario may be, I feel like it's not fair to Ohio State and the guys that I worked out with, because I was there in the offseason working hard with them. I was there in the rough part of the program, so I feel like, it was what I had to do. I feel like I owed that to them guys, and I definitely don't like sitting out, especially at a time like that. We're working for a national championship, big game against one of the top competitive teams in college football. So it's like it was a no-brainer that I was playing.
Malik, we asked Marshawn about having one great year as a starter. Same situation for you. You're going to be in this position. Just what does it say in that 1 year what you accomplished?
It just showed how much I've matured throughout the years being at Ohio State. They do a great job of preparing you for the next level. So I feel like I definitely owe a lot of credit to Ohio State and the coaching staff, because without them, I feel like I wouldn't have made a lot of the plays or be half the person that I am today.
With all the interviews that you're having, you only played varsity football for, a year or two when you were in high school, and Ohio State recruited you based on pure athleticism. So having only 1 year under your belt, do any of the NFL teams in the discussion have any questions about your understanding of the game? Not that you don't, but just not having a lot of experience.
I feel like that's just a typical question for any team. It don't matter if you had multiple years of football or what it may be. I feel like their jobs is on the line and their families is on the line, so they're definitely going to ask you questions about how much you know the game of football, just simply because like I said, they got a family feed as well as we do, so they don't want to just put millions of dollars in their trust into somebody that doesn't really understand the game of football. Yes, sir. I had a torn labrum in my left hip, and I had a sports hernia on both sides. Yes, sir.
Safeties usually aren't top 5 draft picks. What would your argument be for you to be a top 5 draft pick?
I would just say, I feel like I'm a special player. I'm capable of doing a lot of things. I had great coaching staff as well behind me to get me to be the player that I am. Like I said, I was playing with a lot of special players as well. And they feel like every day that I went to practice, I was competing against the best of the best. So give a lot of the credit to the scout team players and also a lot of the starters I was on the offense, because without them, like I said, I wouldn't get half the looks that I had throughout the year.
Do you get a sense that teams are worrying about your durability or the injuries? Talk to you about that at all?
Not really. I really wouldn't pay no mind into that, just simply because, the film says what it says. I feel like, a lot of teams want me to just be healthy for the year coming in. The surgery was my decision. It wasn't like I needed the surgery. I decided to do that because at that point in the season, I knew that I had made the decision that I was going to declare for this upcoming draft. And, it was more so, just preparing myself and get ready for the rookie camp coming up.
It could have healed naturally.
What was the key against
Just having the mindset, that any balls that's in the air, it's my ball, and I feel like I'm a playmaker. So anytime I had a chance to make a player change momentum in the game, I took it upon myself to do so.
Malik, you said that you opted to have.
I feel like it was something that I created over the little years that I was there at Ohio State. Like I said, I matured a lot more than what they thought that year. I mean, this past year I just came, and I feel like I said, it's just a mindset. It's either you feel like you're a dog out there or you're not.
The hip injury, was that the same time?
Yes, sir. All that happened in the same. I'm assuming around the same time because when we played Team Up North, I couldn't tell when it happened in the game, or I don't know how it happened. But after the game, like I said, I was limping. I couldn't really run the next week after that, so I really don't know where it came from.
Malik,
You had one surgery on both.
Yeah, I had the surgery at the same time, January 16th.
you mentioned that you opted to have surgery. Just to understand this, was that could these injuries or one of the injuries heal naturally? What went behind the decision to have it, and why was it even a choice?
Well, the injury is, I had a complete tear, which is basically in my socket of my hip, and it was basically I could play through it. I mean, I probably wouldn't be as healthy. It would still definitely probably hurt, but it was more so, just like you said, after the season's over. I talked to my coaches, and I figured that I was going to, like I said, declare for the draft, and I just felt like, in order for me to go out there and compete with the best of the best, and in the National Football League, I felt like it was what was necessary because I wasn't 100% or nowhere near it. I was probably about 78%, 75%, and like I said, I couldn't really break stride as good as I wanted to. So,
do you feel a competition with Jamal Adams to be the first safety pick?
I really don't see a competition. I feel like we're both very good players. I feel like we're definitely capable of going definitely top 10, top 5. Credit to him because, like I said, he's a great player as well. And I wish him the best as well, and I'm sure he wishes me the best. We're good friends off the field, so it's really not a competition.
Are you similar? Are you similar players?
The deepest defensive back in the years here. Do you think tomorrow will have a competitive field among you guys when you're in drills or the 40?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not competing in the drills, but I definitely feel like, this defensive back, I feel like, they're amazing. A lot of the guys is very athletic, have special talent, so definitely feel like you're going to see a lot of special things tomorrow throughout this group. Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
For you to be a top 5, top 10 pick, given 1 year of starting experience as a senior, what do you make of that?
I say it's more so a blessing. Not a lot of guys can have the opportunity to say that, they're top 5 or top 10 or even first round draft pick, playing 1 year of football. So, it's definitely a blessing. I look back to my foundation. I had faith in God throughout my whole process of college football and just training. I believe that there was a plan set, so I feel like I'm not in this predicament just because it was lucky. I feel like it was planned out from years before.
So you got their guys back in Columbus to play secondary now that 3 of you are left?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, this year, as good as we was last year, I feel like they're going to be special again this year, I feel like a lot of the guys that they got coming in this year, a lot of guys that's filling in the spot, they work just as hard as the guys that left before, It's a culture of program, we don't rebuild, we reload. So the guys that was sitting behind me last year, sitting behind, I feel like, they just waiting for the opportunity just like I was. It's not like you're not good enough, it's just Ohio State. It's a major Division I college. The competition here is crazy, so the guys in line next, and they were just waiting for the opportunity. And I feel like they're going to shine with the opportunity given to them.
Malik, the public saw you perform this year on the field, but you had a lot more years behind that at Ohio State. Just look back at your time there, the ups and downs you went through, and what was it about the coaching staff, everybody else there that helped you get through some of those tough times and get you?
Yeah, the coaching staff, I feel like, it was like a family there to me. It was like a second home. When I first went to Columbus, I had a rough time dealing with homesickness and, just being overwhelmed with trying to transition from being a 2-year football player to going to a major division school like that, And a lot of the times when I deal with something like, my mother's there, but at the time she wasn't there. She didn't stay in Columbus with me, so it was more so just trying to handle it by myself. I'm an 18-year-old kid, don't know what I'm getting into, so it was more so doing that. But I mean, the staff, I definitely give credit to Coach Ash and Coach Meyer and Coach Mick especially, because they just supported me throughout the process, and a lot of the 2014 class as well. They was going through the same thing as me, and we just always talked about it. They got me through it, because without them, I feel like I wouldn't be half the play, because I wouldn't have gave up, but it was like I wouldn't have worked as hard for something. I'd have had a negative mindset about everything, but they helped me grow into a great man and a great player as well.
When you get the diagnosis of sports hernia and what was your first thought? How scared were you?
I wasn't scared at all. My thought was, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, like I said, I played through the Clemson game with it, so when you hear of a tear, like ACL tear or something like that, guys can't tend to run. So my first thought was like, wow, it was that bad? And I was out there running around and playing like that.
So you didn't get diagnosed until after the Clemson?
Yes, sir, I got it after the game. I had the game ended on the 1st January. After that, I flew back home. I got an MRI I want to say that week. I got the results back that week, and then I flew to California for training. And a week later, I flew to Philadelphia as well, and I got another second opinion on what they said the results was. And both results came back clear, and I had surgery, and I'm in the recovery process now.
So much California thinking you could train?
No, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to train. It was just that's where my agency's based out of. So I went there just for lifting purposes and learning what I'm getting into the NFL level. So that was more so what I went to California for.
So you won't be healthy enough really till community camp, you said?
Yeah, I should be healthy enough for rookie camp. But as of right now, I'm just worried about, like I said, getting healthy for that. Won't participate in the pro day. I'll be there definitely for sure, and probably doing physical therapy and jogging around just to show that, rehab's coming along and everything's going good though.
That's one. Malik, you and Marshawn sort of dominated the conversation this season you guys had. But
Yes, sir.
what do you think Garion's going to show people here in drills tomorrow?
I definitely feel like Garion's going to be one of the higher competitors in the drills tomorrow, just from simply seeing and competing against him in the offseason with the drills that's going to happen tomorrow. I feel like he's going to run a great 40. I know his cone drill is going to be amazing. So, I'm just waiting for tomorrow to see and watch him shock everybody else that really don't believe that he's going to be as great as a competitor in the combine.
What makes him